What up, everybody? InstructaBeats back again, here with another angle lesson. Today we're going to be talking about estimating angles. So let's unveil what our objective is today. Our objective today on the tablet. Today I will be able to estimate the size of an angle by using my benchmark angle knowledge. But first, let's quickly look at what we learned previously on InstructaBeats. So in our last lesson, we talked about the different types of angles, right? We have a right angle, a straight angle, we have acute and obtuse. Our right angle is 1/4 of a circle, and it measures exactly 90 degrees. 1/2 of a circle, right, would be a straight angle, and that is going to measure exactly 180 degrees. These two are going to be kind of our benchmark angles that we use to estimate other angles because we know exactly what they have to be. Then we have an acute angle, which is less than 1/4 of a circle, and that angle can be anywhere between 1 and 89 degrees. And then obviously an obtuse angle, which is in between 1/4 and 1/2 of a circle. So it's anywhere between 91 degrees and 179. We're going to have to know the degrees of the right, straight, acute, and obtuse today to kind of help us estimate angles. Let's take a look at our steps for estimating angles. So here on the great wall of line, we have our steps for estimating angles. Step number 1, we want to think, what type of angle is it? Okay, we want to write down, is it acute? Is it obtuse? Is it right, straight, right? What type of angle is it? Then step number 2, we want to draw some benchmark angles. If we know that a right angle is 90 and a straight angle is 180 degrees, then let's use that to help us estimate. And then step number 3, using those two pieces of knowledge, let's estimate what our angle is. Let's take a look at an I do problem so you can see these steps in motion. So our I do problem, here it says how many degrees does angle ABC represent, right? So what's the space, right, in between that ray and that ray? What is this angle right here? So first of all, I want to think about what type of angle is it? Now I know this is a little acute angle, which means whatever my estimate is, it has to be in between 1 degree and 79 degrees, right? So if I estimate 137 for some reason, that doesn't make any sense, right? It's an acute angle. As a matter of fact, I can see it's kind of in a small acute angle, so it's probably closer to 1. Now, step number 2 says draw our benchmark angles. So if I look at from C to B, a right angle right there would be here. That'd be 90 degrees. So looking at this, I see that that would be 90 degrees. I also like to think about halfway. So halfway would be 45 degrees, right? Half of 90 is 45. So I can see that this little acute angle is less than 45. Okay. Matter of fact, it looks like it's closer to 0 than 45. So I'm thinking in my head, okay, this is probably about 10 degrees. And again, I just kind of am estimating because I know if I doubled that, that might be 20, then 30, then close to 40, right? So we're estimating, right? It doesn't have to be perfect, but this looks like it's about 10 degrees based on my knowledge of angles, right? This looks like it's about 10 out of 360 degrees. Let's take a look at a we do problem. So first of all, I want to know, okay, how many degrees is angle G? Now, just so you know, it's not the reflex angle, it's actually this angle right here. I know that this is going to be an obtuse angle, which means my answer should be anywhere between 91 degrees to 179 degrees. Now, you don't normally have to write that down. I'm just writing down why we do that first step. Why do we name it an obtuse angle? That way, if someone's like, I think this is 45 degrees, you know that doesn't make any sense whatsoever because that would be an acute angle. Now, next, I'm going to draw my benchmark angle. So this is an obtuse angle, which means here's my straight angle, right? If it was from here to here, that would be 180. And I'm also going to draw my right angle as well. So if I went from here to here, that would be 90. So this would be 90 degrees. This would be 180 degrees. Now, halfway in between 90 and 180 is 135. So if you look at this angle, it looks like it's pretty close to right in the middle. So it's about halfway between 90 and 180. So I'm thinking, hey, this I think is about 135 degrees. So I'm going to say angle G is about 135 degrees. Now, it's important that you know how to estimate because in our next lesson, we're going to be talking about using a protractor to measure. And we want to estimate in our head first. So this is stuff you can kind of do mentally, but we're going through these steps each time so you kind of get the process. Let's take a look at a U-try problem. All right, so I actually gave you two angles I want you to do right here. And so I'm talking about, just so you know, from here to here. That way you know it's not the reflex angle. And angle F from here to here. Okay. Now, if you have your notes, hopefully they're printed out. You can go ahead and do this on your notes. If not, you could draw these angles if you want. Or you can kind of mentally do it on the computer screen if you're watching on a computer screen. But I want you to go through the steps, right? So do both angles. Are they acute or obtuse? Draw your benchmark angles. And then make a best estimate. And you should be able to get we should be about 15 degrees away from each other, right? That'd be kind of like, we want to be within 15 degrees when I show you how I did mine and came up with mine with what you got. We don't have to be exact because, again, of this word, estimating. So go ahead and pause the video and then push play when you're ready to check your work. All right, so hopefully you pause it. I'm going to go ahead and start with this one. This one I know is an acute angle, right? Which means it's going to be anywhere from 1 to 79 degrees, right? I'm going to draw my benchmark angle. Here's my right angle, okay? And then I know that halfway between 0 degrees and 90 degrees, right, is 45 degrees. That's like another benchmark number you should know. And this looks like it's a little bit less than 45. So I think, and it looks very, very close, I think this angle is about 43 degrees, okay? I think angle C is about 43 degrees. Now, if you, again, we should be within 15 degrees of each other. So if you got 58, I would say that's pretty good, right? If you got, 28, that would be pretty good. We should be within 15 degrees of each other. Hopefully you were close to like 40, 45, somewhere in there. But if not, that's okay. It fails as long as you learn from it. Let's take a look at angle F. Now, angle F I know is an obtuse angle, which means my estimate is going to be in between 91 degrees, right? Bigger than 1/4 of a circle, but less than half of a circle. So somewhere in between 91 and 179 degrees. So I'm going to draw both benchmark fractions here. So if I drew this line all the way out here, right, that'd be a straight angle right there. That'd be 180 degrees. If I drew a right angle with that, that would be 90 degrees. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see that. And so I know that kind of halfway between 90 and 180 would be 135 degrees, right? So that's terrible handwriting. Again, that's just another benchmark number, right? 0, so here would be 0, by the way, over here. 0, 90, 180, 45, and 135. Those are kind of like our benchmark angles to kind of remember. So this looks like it's kind of halfway between 135 and 180, right? So that'd be like split 45 degrees in half, right? And so I'm just going to kind of add 20 to this, maybe. So I think this is about 155 degrees, okay? Again, anywhere from like 170 to 140, I think is a pretty good answer because, again, we're just estimating, right? This might even be like 165 degrees. I think that's perfect, okay? Again, this is just estimating based on our benchmark fractions. So hopefully you got that one right. We're going to use this skill in our next lesson when we learn how to use a protractor so we can kind of estimate to make sure our exact answer is correct. But hopefully this makes sense to you. Again, estimating angles by using our benchmark fractions. Welcome to the challenge zone. So here, I want you to draw an angle that's about 135 degrees. So using your benchmark angles to try to draw one. Again, this is a challenge zone, so a little bit like one step further than we talked about, but go ahead and pause the video, try to draw an angle that's about 135 degrees, and then push play to check your work. All right, so first of all, I know this needs to be an obtuse angle. So I'm gonna go ahead and draw a straight line right here, right? Okay, so that'd be 180. Here would be kind of 90 degrees. So if I use my benchmark angle right here, there we go, okay? I know about 135 should be halfway between 90 and 180 degrees. So I'm going to draw this angle kind of like that. Then I'm going to kind of erase what I can so you can kind of see it. Okay, I won't be able to erase everything. That's kind of fun. So this would be about 135 degrees, okay? So using your benchmark fraction kind of as like placeholders to then draw in what you think the answer might be. Now remember, 1 degree, if you go all the way back a couple lessons ago, you could barely even see that in the circle, right? 1 degree is very, very tiny. So if you're off a little bit, I think that's totally fine because it's hard to break a circle into unit fractions of 1/360, right? That's just kind of hard to do, especially on a computer. So if you want to do 45 degrees, we know that's an acute angle. So I'm just going to draw a right angle first because I know this will be acute, so I don't need the straight angle. Right? Here it'd be 90 degrees, here it'd be 0 degrees. And again, I know 45 is half of 90, so I know that this should be kind of splitting the difference right there. And I could draw it like that, or you could draw it up and down like that. Totally fine, except it should be a straight line. And again, let me kind of erase what I can so you can kind of see it. And that would be about 45 degrees. Again, half of 90, okay? So just a little challenge zone problem to help kind of work on your estimating. Thank you so much for checking us out today. We know there's lots of different options online. Check out InstructaBeats.com for all our merch, lessons, video lessons, timers, you name it. We got it. We got worksheets and everything. Please check us out. Love for you to subscribe, like the video, let us comment, let us know where you're watching from. Again, thank you so much. InstructaBeats out.